Waitress at my family's restaurant.
Dunkin' Donuts.
McDonald's.
Working at my parents' bar as a bartender.
It was a restaurant job. I was a dishwasher.
I was a dishwasher at a country club.
Well, first job, shout out to Jet's Pizza. I was dish boy there.
Oh, my first job, I was a corn detasseler.
I worked at a dining hall.
My first job was Chick-fil-A.
My very first job, I worked mowing lawns.
My first job was Big Rapids at Bob Evans as a server and host.
My first job was a host at a restaurant, local restaurant.
My first job was in an auditorium. I worked as just working a soundboard.
I worked at a farm, dairy farm.
I worked at Dairy Queen.
I worked on a celery farm.
I worked at a baseball concession stand.
I worked at this small plumbing and electrical shop called Cherry Valley Plumbing and Electrical.
I worked at Taco Bell.
This summer, I was a housekeeper.
Actually, no, it was contract work for a car dealership to do some work on their computers.
I learned that I loved hospitality, which is what eventually led me to Ferris.
I just learned a lot of different parts, what they did in the electrical field and in the plumbing field.
I learned probably that nobody will ever be satisfied.
Learning to work with other people.
There's a lot of angry grandmas that don't like their pizza undercooked, so.
That adults aren't always the best.
I learned how to plant celery, show up on time. I work hard, I learned how to make money and how hard it was to make money.
Hard work really does pay off.
I learned to work hard, and I didn't get paid very much, so it was all about work.
I learned how to get up early and work my butt off at a job to make very little money.
People are rude, especially little kids.
That people suck.
That people are really gross in hotels.
I learned that sometimes it's easier to take the odd jobs that you normally wanted to do, and they can pay a lot more than getting a job at McDonald's and other things like that.
That miserable people work at McDonald's, and they make your life miserable too. If you're young and you have expectations and goals and potential, they hate that, so they make your life miserable.
I learned a lot about how to survive and thrive in chaos.
A lot of just versatility, being able to go with the flow and adjust whatever my boss needed. It was a lot of just doing whatever work had to be done.
Just dealing with rude customers. Customer service is probably the main thing.
I guess customer service.
Good work ethic, probably, yeah. Pretty busy at Chick-fil-A. My pleasure.
How to clean dishes. Fast.
There's the people who wash the dishes and cook the food, and there's the people eating the food and being rich in the country club. And you want to be the guy who's sitting in the country club. That's the guy you want to be.